new episode of Wrestling with Siblings. I'm your host, Araceli, and this is my co-host, Armando.
Hi guys, I'm Armando. Welcome to Wrestling with Siblings. We have an exciting show for you guys today.
Before we get started, though, if you make it to the end of the show, you already know we love you. If you don't, we love you anyways. Remember to like, share, and subscribe because, we're doing this weekly now. And before we do get started, I want to give props to Renee Young for being on commentary again. She did a fantastic job. I feel like she gives Raw a different vibe. It feels different when she's there. Nothing against Coach, but I like having Renee on commentary. I feel like it gives it something different, something to look forward to in a different aspect, I guess.
Piggybacking on that, I have to agree. She's been doing a very, very, very good job. Hopefully we get to see her more on commentary. Hopefully she's there for Evolution as she continues to do a great job week after week.
Hey, you never know. She might get to that point where they have her on their weekly.
She still needs a little bit of more work.
She does.
I would love to see her carry Michael Cole and Corey Graves. But she's a long way. She's still doing a good job. Just keep it up.
Okay, now let's get into the actual show. Opening the show this week is Braun Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre. They come out and Braun basically says that if Roman didn't have the Shield, he would have lost the Universal Championship already. And
yeah, I would have to agree with that. Roman Reigns has the Shield on his side, and if it wasn't for the Shield, like I said, he probably wouldn't have been champion right now, and Strowman would have cashed in successfully a couple weeks ago.
And Raw would be completely different right now. We would have Braun Strowman as the Universal Champion, but Roman is still the champion. And then, Braun starts trash talking and whatnot. So then, the Shield comes out with the regular entrants. They don't come from the ramp. They come from, the audience. And then Corbin is brilliant. He realizes this is not going to be good. So he brings out a portion of the locker room. And then, the Shield is there. And they all start fighting. It becomes into a brawl. Then the rest of the locker room comes out.
It was awesome to see everybody try to separate the Shield. And Dolph Ziggler, Braun Strowman, and McIntyre. We need to come up with a nickname for them because, they have the Shield and it makes it a whole lot easier. Not just for us, but for everybody.
Yeah, you don't have to be like Roman, Seth, and Dean all the time. You could just call them the Shield and you get it over with. You know who you're talking about, right? But them, they don't have a fraction name. So it's kind of just sticking to Braun, Ziggler, and McIntyre. But we need more feuds like this. Right now, this is a hell of a good feud. And, the locker room comes out. They end up being able to split them apart. And then they go to the backstage area. And then you see the Shield getting arrested. Obviously, at this point, eventually, at some point, they always end up, hitting bail.
Yeah, well, what kind of surprised me was that the Shield actually got arrested. In that case, they should have arrested McIntyre, Ziggler, and Braun Strowman too because they were also involved in the fight. But it was all politics. It's starting to look like Baron Corbin is starting to like
where this is going. He's starting to like McIntyre, Ziggler, and Braun together as a team, as a faction.
That's where I was going. So it was just part of favoritism at the end. And like you said, the Shield ended up coming out at the end of the show, but we'll get to that later.
They posted bail, but as Armando said, we will get into that later. Let's get into the first match of the night. One of my favorite matches. This is very interesting because for the first time in 3 years, the Bella Twins are back in action. And they're facing the Riot Squad. We had Nikki and Brie versus Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Ruby was ringside, but she wasn't in the match. Again, I'm glad the Bellas are back. I miss them.
Yeah, the Bellas were back. They looked great. They looked awesome in the ring. You could tell they were kind of off a little bit. They were... How could I say this? they were a little bit rusty, you know. And
But
and it's normal when you haven't been in the ring for a while, and you could clearly see it on Brie Bella. You know, she did have a couple mistakes. She botched on some suicide dives.
yeah, but you gotta give her credit where credit is due. One, she just had a baby, right? Two,
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, but two, she hasn't wrestled in, like, had an actual match in a really long time. And three, she hasn't been with Nikki in the ring in, like, over 3 years. So it has definitely, like, I agree. She's a professional wrestler. She should know how to do the moves, and that's, like, not an excuse. But at the same time, it's like, she's a mom. She just came back. She just got out of retirement. And people just need to leave her alone. Like, she didn't do that bad. She missed it. I'm not even gonna lie. She, like, thought she was running hella fast, and then she just dipped. She didn't even fly for a second, okay? And she did it twice. She botched twice. The first time, it was horrible. The second time, she could have been carried by Ruby and Sarah. But you gotta give credit where credit is due. She came back. She's doing what she can. Nikki on the other side, though, she looks really good. She looks like she hasn't lost a step. She looks pretty solid in the ring. Brie will get there. It just takes time. You know, she just came back from retirement.
So just the question is, though, where's Nikki going to go from this? You know, are we going to see her... Well, not Nikki, but the Bellas. Are they going to have a short run to WWE, a long run?
I don't know. As we all know, Nikki has neck problems that pretty much indicates that she's a part-time wrestler. But I see her going up until WrestleMania, a little bit further than WrestleMania. And I do think from the bottom of my heart, nothing against the Bellas, I'm a huge Bella fan, that after this WrestleMania, like, they're officially done. I feel like this is it. This is it for them. You know, they're just gonna go with it until they can, and then after that, it's just gonna be end game for them.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening with the Bellas. I think it's just gonna be a short run, like you said, a couple months, maybe up until Mania.
There's so much they can do. You know, women's championships. They haven't won those yet. I still haven't gotten to see Trish and Lita versus the Bellas, and I still haven't gotten to see the Iconics versus the Bellas. It's just a couple of things that I would want to see them do. I feel like they're not quite done, but they still have a couple of months to get things done. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, again, the future. Liv and Nikki has been one of my dream matches. I feel like they have a similar wrestling style. They're not, like, when you look appearance-wise, Carmella dresses and acts a lot more like Nikki than Liv does, but when it comes to, like, in-ring performance, I think Liv is up there. I think she's kind of at her level. Yes, Liv needs a lot more work, but you gotta admit, she's good.
She is good.
And she delivers in all of her matches.
She has delivered, but like I said, the potential is there. She could do way, way more. And she should take that the Bellas are there now to kind of just
learn,
scout them, learn, get some advice from them. And I do see the similarities that you said in the ring with Liv.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of do dress alike and all that stuff, but we'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
Carmella, I feel that she's the next Nikki Bella, but she's not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there, but definitely, like, this match was really good. I don't think it sucked. It was really good. It was decent. You know, both sides performed, other than the botches that happened, of course, but that's bound to happen. Everybody does it. Michael Cole does it almost on a weekly basis, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I do think this was a fantastic match. Like, I have nothing bad to say about it. Mondo, what do you think of this match?
I thought it was, if not second to best match out of the show. Just, again, the women are proving why they are getting their own pay-per-view, because every week they just keep on trying to steal the show, which is good.
And you know, that's piggybacking on what you just said. the Bellas played a huge part in this, and like so did everybody else down in NXT. And I feel like there's so much more left for the women to do. And we'll see where they decide to go with the Bella Twins, with the Riot Squad.
Yeah, I love what they're doing with the Riot Squad. They should continue to do that. Again, like you said, they are the future. I would like to see them carry their brand more, which is starting to get there, little by little. You know, maybe give one of them a title shot.
If you were to give, out of the three, if you were to give one of them or two of them a title shot, who would it be? Personally, I have two in mind, and you'll probably agree with one or two of them.
Well, I mean, it's obvious what you're going to say.
Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan.
I would just stick with Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott, she's there. Like, she has the mic skills. She has the in-ring ability. She's creative. She's good in the ring. Like,
all around, she's
there.
She's got what it takes to be the champion.
Exactly.
And that would be my pick. And I would like to see her in a title run.
Whether it be now or later, I would like to see her in the title picture. I do feel like they are building her the proper way, though.
Yeah.
I feel like they're taking it really slow with her, and then eventually she's just going to get that big push, and it's just going to go from there.
Yeah, and see, that's the key to a lot of superstars, especially with the women. We got to bring them slowly. You know, not just be like, okay, you know, they won a match, they're going to be the next big thing, and then just throw them into a title picture. No, that's not how it works. It's like you have to develop them nice and slow, and I just like what they're doing with the Riot Squad.
It's going to be very interesting to see where they actually decide to go with them, but we'll get more into that as more details start to come. Let's get into the second match of the night. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus The Ascension. Okay, I have to say something here. It's kind of like an odd tag team, but I like it. There's something about it that makes me like this tag team, but it still seems kind of awkward, you know? But it's like that good awkward.
It is. It's just because we're so used to seeing Bobby Roode being in singles competition and not really having a tag partner. And especially because Chad Gable was the one that chose him. And it's two different wrestling styles. I mean, the one that really, really impressed me on Raw, especially was Chad Gable. I mean, the way he got the win and throughout the match, I mean, he really, like, literally picked up, I think it was, what's his name?
Victor.
It might have been Victor.
I don't remember who it was, but I know he did grab, like, one of them and did what, like a suplex type thing?
He did a suplex, and then he pinned him as he was doing the suplex. I mean, his in-ring athleticism is so good. I think it's going to turn out great, partnering him up with Bobby Roode. And maybe this is what Bobby Roode needs in his career to bring him, you know, to make him more relevant in the roster. To actually make him like, you know what? We're going to put you with Chad Gable and see where it goes.
And as being a single competitor, he wasn't really doing much. So now this is probably the opportunity for him to like actually put himself out there on the main roster. And I gotta give it to Chad Gable. He performed. He gave a match. It was absolutely incredible. And I have to agree with everything you said about him. But I think it's super funny. If you guys haven't seen the match, go find it. It's on YouTube. When Chad picks up the win, Bobby Roode is like super stunned. He's like, what? And he just couldn't believe it. And he was like he finally won something on the main roster. I believe he had already won other matches, but he just thought it was like super incredible.
Yeah, I most likely think it was just because he was so impressed with this tag partner and how they connected together in the ring. Like I said, this is very exciting. I like what they're doing with them too, and it looks like the tag division and Raw is starting to get a lot better. We're starting to see a lot more fractions, which is good because I think Raw really, really needs it so they could up their game with SmackDown.
This is going to be one of the top tag teams, mark my words, because you have two talents like Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. This is a great opportunity for Bobby to be able to carry Chad Gable and take him to a different level, because ever since Jason Jordan was with him, he hasn't done much. You know, he was tag team with Jason Jordan, and then after Jason got injured and he got drafted, he hasn't done much.
They partnered him with Shelton Benjamin, and it went good for a couple weeks, and then after that it stopped. Hopefully it doesn't go like that with Bobby Roode. And like I said, we all know that Bobby Roode in singles competition can make it happen. And again, he's one of the top guys that could potentially be an ex-Universal Champion. Who knows?
The Ascension was finally back on TV. We haven't seen them in a while, and I feel like this was the match to put them back on the map.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you definitely on that one. I would like to see more of them too, just because I think they're a great tag team.
And see, WWE and Raw has to explore with their tag team division in Raw right now, because comparing it to SmackDown, they're not there, you know, and I feel like adding this tag team and adding the Ascension is going to be super good for the Raw tag team division, especially with the champions that we just, you know, that we just crowned. We'll get more into that a little bit later. Let's get into the next part of Raw, which was Elias. He comes out, and as always, he can never have that one time when he doesn't get interrupted. He gets interrupted by the Goddess, the hometown, I don't want to say hero, but hero, I guess. Alexa Bliss, she comes out with Foxy and Mickie James. They both start talking trash on Trish Stratus, which we know came out last week and then slapped Elias on the face.
Can we please get Elias to finish a song once when he comes out? Because he always gets interrupted, and that's messed up for a superstar at his caliber to get interrupted. Come on, people, have some respect. All the superstars in that locker room gotta have respect for Elias.
Hey, he has an album. You want to listen to his music? Buy the album on iTunes.
Yeah,
buy his EP.
Yeah, but what if I want to go to a WWE Raw event and I want to actually listen to him live? Someone's gonna come out and interrupt them, which it's not cool.
Alexa was going to let him finish. She said, I want to walk with Elias, which I thought was really weird, because I'm like, okay, is this like a one-time thing where she just says it, lets him finish the song, and then like it ends? Or are they actually trying to go through a storyline between Alexa and Elias?
Alexa, though, I have to warn you, if you walk with Elias, you're going to get lost.
Oh my goodness. We'll put that picture up again for those of you who haven't seen it, from when we met Elias and Armando's poster said, I walked with Elias and I got lost. I'll put the picture up on here so that you guys can see it.
I got lost, but it took me to WrestleMania.
Exactly. But okay, back into the actual subject that we were at. What do you think? Are they going to do a storyline between Alexa and Elias? I think this may just be for the Evolution thing. You know, right now they're doing kind of things on the side for Evolution and promoting Evolution. I think that's what it is. I don't really see her partnering up with Elias to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me neither. It was just the fact that, like you said, they're promoting Evolution.
And this was the perfect opportunity to, you know, throw this kind of mini storyline on there, because Trish had a tiny feud with Elias last week,
and I think they're just piggybacking on that
and making it a bigger deal, so that way, for when the match comes for Evolution, they've built this entire storyline. Because some way, somehow, they got to build the storyline, so this is going to be a part of that. And remember, Alexa has Mickie James and Alicia Fox in her corner. And so therefore that leads to the match. Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. Natalya has Ronda Rousey in her corner. This match was really good. I liked it. Personally, I liked it. Again, Natty always has excellent matches. Alexa always delivers.
Yeah, same thing that we saw at the beginning of the match. That it was a very technical match at the beginning. And again, Natty like showing her experience to Alexa Bliss, why she is where she's at in the WWE. I feel that Natty is the mentor to a lot of the younger women superstars in the locker.
And piggybacking on that, I feel like she is, like, kind of, you know, like an inspiration to all of them. She was there between, like I said before, she was there for, like, the old era and then, like, the new era and then now the evolution era where we're heading into all these women getting their own stuff. So Natalya played a humongous role in the women's evolution, and that's just the way it is. And she's always there. She's always down to put new talent over. Even though Alexa didn't need it, but she's always there to, hey, you're new to this. I'm going to make you look good out there, and I'm going to show everybody that you are the future, and this is why. And that's what she does every single time she gets in the ring with no matter who.
Yeah.
That's the level that Natty is at.
And that's why everybody looks up to her. You know, you always got to have that one person you go to that you look up to, and that's what Natty is in the women's division. And I think she knows her role in Raw, that she's really not going to get the push that she wants, which it sucks because I really want to see it, like you said, because she was part of the old era of the women's division and this newer one.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, she knows her role, that she's there to help that young talent.
Yeah, she's there to put other people over, and she's totally cool with that. Like, she doesn't go out there and be like, why do they have to go over? Why can't I go over for once? You know what I mean? She goes out there and she's like, I'm going to make you look good, and we're going to have a match, and it's going to be damn good. And this match, it was good. Just like every other match that Natty has, she always delivers. I always love seeing Natty wrestle because she always has... And you gotta admit this, she always has at least something new all the time. And it's not like every single match, but there'll be times when you're just like, wow, Natty did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that shows her athleticism, her experience throughout the years. You know, and like I said, she's willing to do all that and to teach all the new talent what she's made out of.
Yeah, she can get creative and still do it right. You know what I mean? And Alexa, she's new. She's not a rookie anymore, but she's been there long enough now to know. And I feel like that's part of why she's going to be facing Trish Stratus. Like, she sells the merchandise. She has the mic skills. She can cut the promos. She can wrestle. Yeah, she's not the best in-ring performer, but she can wrestle. She's up there. She can hang.
She can, but I think mainly why she's champion and she's so hot is because of her mic skills. You know, I'm not doubting her
in-ring ability, yeah.
But it's mainly because of the way she gets with the crowd. You either hate her or you don't.
Yeah.
And she gets that crowd reaction, which is very important to WWE.
Exactly.
Know? And everybody, because if you get the reaction, you're selling merchandise, you're selling tickets, you're bringing butts to the seats.
Piggybacking on that, like, as you said, if you get a reaction, that's good. If you get a reaction, you're doing your job. She comes out, she's probably the most hated woman wrestler right now. Why? She's damn good at her job. And then she gets the crowd to hate her.
Another thing, too, look who she's the leader of. Mickie James and Alicia Fox.
Exactly. See,
two of the women that paved the way for her to be there and for her to take leadership and carrying them tells you something.
She is, and like I said, she's not a rookie, but in this trio, she is the rookie. You know what I mean? Mickie James has wrestled for years. She had one of the greatest rivalries with Trish Stratus. And then you have Alicia Fox, who's also a veteran. And then there's Alexa, who, yeah, like I said, she's not the rookie as of right now, but she's the rookie in this fraction, in this trio. And she's leading them. And that's for a reason, and you're completely right with that.
So we can say that she's kind of like the Miz of the women's division?
I mean, her mic skills are definitely at his level for a girl. Yeah, they're definitely at her level, and you guys have to give her credit where credit is due. She, just like the Miz, he comes out, he gets booed, but you gotta admit, you don't hate the guy. Same thing with Alexa.
And then the reason why I say with that, she's like the Miz. She was with Nia Jax for a while in her corner, and look what happened. Nia Jax
got to the title picture.
And was eventually champion. So, this could possibly mean that maybe Mickie James or Alicia Fox may be down the road to have a title shot. But who knows? I mean, she made Nia Jax successful. Not that Nia Jax hasn't worked
to be where she's at. Yeah. But I definitely see the comparison that you're trying to make. And to be completely honest, I think Alexa deserves a match against Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Like, putting the statistics that we just laid down for you guys, she deserves this match. And I understand people hate her, but dude, if you hate her, she's doing her job because she's a heel. You're supposed to hate her. I'm one of those people where, like, she's a heel, but she's one of those heels that you just can't hate, you know? And let's get to the end of the match. So, Alexa Bliss defeats Natty by using Ronda's move, her finisher, the armbar. What do you think of that? That is crazy. Imagine if Alexa can do it to Ronda.
That would be awesome. Again, she's playing the mind games with Ronda. And again, it's showing why she's up there.
And again, Alexa always has something up her sleeve. You know, at the end of the match, Foxy and Mickie end up attacking Ronda. And poor Alicia Fox, she got dragged around by Ronda Rousey. She just grabbed her by the hand and starts dragging her around. That's messed up, man. But, you know.
Like a rag doll. She literally just grabbed her and tossed her.
Yep, she did. But you gotta give props to Alicia. She never complains. She is there. And she always gives everything her 100%. She sold that. She completely, like, sold her being dragged around like a rag doll. That was incredible. Props to Alicia for that. All right, let's get into something very, very interesting. So we see Ziggler and McIntyre backstage, and they're talking to Corbin, and they're like, well, since Seth Rollins isn't here and he got arrested, I can't invoke my Intercontinental title rematch. So then McIntyre then says, how about the tag team titles? And then he's like, I can't do that because we already advertised the Revival versus the B team. And then they're like, oh, well, what if the Revival couldn't perform? And then Corbin is like, well, that changes everything. I would have to make some arrangements. And so what does Drew McIntyre and Ziggler do? They take out the Revival, and then they get their match against the B team for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Again, I think this is going to be a type of friction where it's going to be unstoppable, where they're going to be the ones that are going to be running the show and telling the general managers what to do. I mean, we already saw it with Baron Corbin.
Hey, they got their match. Corbin told them, if the Revival cannot compete, I will have to make some arrangements. And what did they do? They went and took out the Revival. And they ended up being successful. They won the Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, this is going to be McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler show. And I'm kind of disappointed that the Revival got buried. I mean, they were having a good run. They worked hard to get the title opportunity. And all of a sudden, they just bury them.
Poof, gone.
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, right now, the hottest feud that Raw has is Roman Reigns and The Shield versus Braun and McIntyre and Ziggler. And I get it. That probably led them to thinking, oh, well, you know, right now, they're the hottest feud out there, so let's put them as champion. You know, and it's like, all right, that's cool, but what happens with the Revival now? Because you just, like you said, they just earned their opportunity and they just went poof. They disappeared.
They got buried. That's it. They got buried. They just, I don't know what they're going with this. But keep in mind, I kind of see why they did it too. Just because Roman Reigns is Universal Champion and Seth Rollins is Intercontinental Champion. So that makes two of that friction with titles. And on the other side, you have
nobody.
Strowman and Ziggler and McIntyre, which now they have
some
Tag
gold.
Team gold.
And you still can't forget. I mean, the Money in the Bank is still Strowman. Yeah, he already handed it in that he's cashing it in at Hell in a Cell, but he's still technically the monster in the bank, you know? And in the long run, this is probably going to lead into another Ziggler and McIntyre versus Rollins and Dean for the tag team gold.
And what sucks too is that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel were actually looking pretty good. I thought they had reached their point being tag champions and they could have offered a lot more. And all of a sudden, they get cut off by McIntyre and Ziggler.
And it sucks because where do they go from now? You know, where do they go from here? Like, what's next for them? I have no idea what they're going to do with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I mean, obviously, they can invoke their rematch clause, sure. But do you really think they're going to beat McIntyre and Ziggler for them? No. So then it's like, they build, and the way they build the B team was genius because they put them with The Miz, you know, and then, like, it was like nobody believed in them. The Miz were the only ones that did, and then they some way, somehow got themselves into the title picture. They won the championship, and now it's, like, gone, kind of with, like, the revival. You know what I mean? And we have nothing against McIntyre and Ziggler. This is going to be one of the greatest, you know, tag teams. But it just sucks because what happens with the revival now? Because for sure, I can pretty much guarantee you guys it's going to turn into a Rollins and Ambrose versus McIntyre and Ziggler for the tag team gold. That's what's going to end up happening, like I said earlier.
And we're probably going to see that for a couple months, like you said. Don't be surprised if we see it maybe up until, like, what, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series. Who knows? I mean, they've been going a long way with these feuds. So
we'll see where they end up going. For now, I think it's a great idea. But let's get into AOP versus the Jobbers.
We call them jobbers because we didn't know their names, and they are jobbers. But, like I said, it really wasn't much of a challenge. One of the surprises in this match was that AOP came out with, I believe, what's his name? Maverick.
Maverick, yeah.
Maverick as their manager. He clearly said that he was going to manage them, which I totally disagree. And I wanted Kevin Owens. Sorry for the interruptions, but I wanted Kevin Owens to lead them. But, again, it's a surprise. We'll see where this goes.
Well, he did say he was taking them to Tag Team Gold, so that's probably something we're going to be seeing pretty soon. Again, I have to agree with Armando. This was the perfect opportunity to have Kevin Owens partner with AOP. You know, they just he quit last week, and then now he came back this week, and then it's like, if you were going to have him come back in a week, you might as well have just partnered him with AOP.
Yeah. And like I said, AOP, they're good, they're talented, but they're missing a leader to go to the next step. And like I said, Kevin Owens fits perfect with them.
I don't think Maverick is the brains or what AOP needs. I think it really is Kevin Owens. But we'll see where they decide to go with that. Hopefully he doesn't ruin them. Hopefully he takes them on in a really good direction to where they gotta be.
And like we said, there wasn't much to say about this match. It was a quick match.
It was probably less than 2 minutes long, to be completely honest. So that's why we're not getting as much into it. But let's get into the next match, which was Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Dana Brooke and Ember Moon. Again, the majority of this match was Sasha and Dana. Dana gave her a match again this time, and I feel like, I'm telling you guys, the more time you give Dana, the more she can prove that she really does belong in this division, you know?
I love the fact that she split away from Titus Worldwide. Well, at least it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because she said she was done with them. So I think she's tired of, like, the losing streak and whatnot. But where does she go from here?
Hopefully big things. She really hasn't had the opportunity because we know she was with Charlotte when Charlotte came up to the roster, and Charlotte was Raw Women's Champion. so she really didn't get much of opportunity. Hopefully, this is the opportunity that Dana Brooke deserves. And again, she's just been managers or like the shadow of everybody she's been with. I mean,
you know what? You know what would really help her? Natty. Back to Natty. Put her up against Natty. I can guarantee you Natty will bring something out of her that we haven't seen. You know what I mean? And as for Sasha and Bailey, they're a good duo. It looks like they are in a good place right now. It doesn't look like they're going to be feuding anytime soon, but we all know down the line in a couple of months they are, because they're not always going to be a tag team. We know that. Everybody knows that. Expect the feud eventually down the line.
And then Dana Brooke and Ember Moon look pretty good as a tag team, even though they haven't been partnered as much. So that proves to you that Dana Brooke can work with anybody and has the talent to do big things in the women's division.
All right, let's get into the next match. Bobby Lashley and Jinder Mahal. They pretty much have like an anger issues meditation class. Armando, do you want to demonstrate what the class was like?
Shardy. Really relaxing. You guys should try it out.
I haven't tried it. He has. He likes it. He thinks it's relaxing. But let's get to the bottom of it. Kevin Owens comes back and he just attacks Bobby Lashley. Like, what was the purpose of that? See what I mean? This is why they should have just put him with AOP.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to make a statement, not only to Bobby Lashley, but to everybody. To look out that Kevin Owens is out there and he's willing to do anything to be on top of the roster.
I sincerely think he's just going to pick a fight with everybody. At this point, he's just going to come out at random and be like, hey, I'm going to pick a fight with you. I'm going to pick a fight with you. I'm going to pick a fight with you. Or he can have a serious feud with Bobby Lashley. I really don't know. But they decided to throw him into that segment. I would have gone different ways. But that's how it is, and there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman. Mondo, what do you want to say about this match?
Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman.
I mean, you gotta admit, Finn gave him a challenge. He really did. For a guy his size facing somebody like Strowman, he gave him a fight. He gave him a challenge.
Yeah, well, he showed what he was made of. That he is willing to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. I mean, he proved it a couple weeks ago with Roman Reigns. He was the one carrying the match. And I mean, it's just, I think if the guy, Finn Balor, gets a title around his waist, it'll elevate his career a lot more. Because we know what he could do in the ring.
We do, and we know what he can do not only as the Demon King, but as Finn Balor. You know, we've seen both sides already, and I feel like Finn Balor's speed really helped him, like, in this match. It really helped him give the fight that he gave to Braun Strowman. You know what I mean? And remember, Finn came out by himself. He had nobody there to back him up. Braun Strowman had McIntyre and Ziggler out there. Finn was by himself, and then eventually we find out that the Shield posted bail. Therefore, they were released, and then they show up to the arena, and this time, they get destroyed. Completely destroyed by McIntyre, Ziggler, Braun, and the heel side of the roster, which was AOP, The Ascension, and then I forget who else came out.
Jinder Mahal, Kevin Owens, a lot more superstars. We can't name them off the top of our head. But yeah, I mean, this friction of McIntyre, Ziggler, and Strowman, I think they're the only ones that could destroy the Shield. So far, right now.
I think AOP can too, but they need somebody there. They need somebody other than Maverick helping them out. Because I feel like AOP can really take out the Shield. I feel like they can. They just need the right third person.
They can take out the Shield and Braun Strowman,
McIntyre and Ziggler.
See what I mean? That this faction needs
They need a name.
They need a name because it's hard for you to keep saying their names over and over and over. But
it is what it is. But maybe they haven't gotten a name because they're not going to go on for long. Who knows? But, hey, they really, really, really need to give them some sort of abbreviation, some sort of name. Because I cannot just be like Braun, Ziggler, McIntyre, and just continue with that.
From now on, we'll call it BZM. Braun, Ziggler, and McIntyre.
Okay, hopefully I don't forget that, but we'll call them that. Okay, so that's the end of Raw. Now let's get into SmackDown. Brie, Bella, and Daniel Bryan open up the show. You know, Renee Young is inside of the ring. She's about to interview them. And then, like, they start talking. And then Renee tells them, hey, Miz and Maurice called you guys out. You guys didn't come out. The arena was empty. There was nobody there. And then Miz and Maurice come out on the Titron. And then they say they're getting Italian food. So what do Brie and Bryan decide to do? Go catch up to them. But before that, it's going to be Bryan against Andrade Cien Almas again. Now, I don't mind seeing this match. I can watch it week after week. It's good. You know, Andrade always delivers when he's out there. He has given him a match. I feel like he's taking Bryan to a limit we haven't seen Bryan be at in a really long time. Or at least since his return.
That is correct. And in this match, we saw him dominate 75% of the match. I give him a 10. I give the match a 10. Both of them. Because both of these guys have been proving themselves. Lately, we know what Daniel Bryan could do. He pretty much always delivers. Andrade is trying to prove himself not only to the roster, but to the fans. And why he is going to be the future of SmackDown Live.
And Daniel Bryan put him over. Like, he really did. And the match was good. And I gotta agree, it's a 10. Like, there's no way you can rate this match anything less than, like, an 8.
Andrade also proving that he can hang with the top guys. I mean, he gave one hell of a match to AJ. Now with this feud between him and Bryan, he's showing what he's made of. And he's taking all of them to the limit.
Yeah, he has different techniques all the time, and he's always one step ahead. He's smart, and he knows what he's doing. He knows where he's about to take his opponent and at the level that he's at. And the good thing is that Andrade knows he's good. He knows he's up there with the top stars. And that's what he's trying to prove, as you said. You know, and I feel like with Selena, it makes it a lot easier for him to do that. Because Selena puts him over a lot as well. And he does the same to Selena. And they're a fantastic duo. And I don't know. I think we're getting like a triple trio here. Because Andrade and Selena are helping Miz and Maurice. And then at the same time, they're also feuding with Daniel and Brie. So it's like a triple feud type thing.
I think they're just trying to get their name out there. I mean, they already picked a fight with Daniel Bryan and Brie. Why not choose The Miz? The Miz is, if not one of the top star in SmackDown.
And he's gonna put their name out there. I mean, look what he did with the B team. Again, we have to keep mentioning this because look at where the B team is now. You know, and he's really gonna help Andrade and Selena get there.
I mean, and then not only that, not to underestimate Daniel Bryan's skills, but look where the Miz has taken this feud. I mean, he's raising it up to that level where everybody wants to see it.
And he makes it so believable to the point where you believe it's real. Where you look at the two men and you're just like, they really hate each other. These two cannot stand each other. The same thing with Maurice and Brie. But I feel like that comes more from part of Maurice where she's just like, I hate you, Brie. And they project that. That's how you know this feud is good. And again, they should have waited for the Rumble 2 Mania season. Imagine how good this feud would have been between the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. It would have been brilliant. This feud is money. I would pay to go see this feud. I mean, anybody would pay to go see The Miz, you know, but even then, it's like, what he's done to this feud is completely magical.
And now that they they threw Selena and Andrade in there, makes it more, because you don't know at the end of the day which side Andrade and Selena are going to feud with.
Exactly. And when you bring that up, you really don't know whose side the Miz is on, because right now it looks like he's on Andrade and Selena's side, right? But in reality, is he? Because knowing the Miz, he uses people to their advantage. And I told you this at the very end of SmackDown. And I'll say it now because the majority of you guys have probably already seen SmackDown. At the very end, you know, the Miz and Maryse get attacked by Bryan and Bella. They end up coming back. And then, who comes out? Selena and Andrade to try to help them. And then Bryan and Brie take out Andrade and Selena. And what does the Miz do? Nothing. He's just watching them getting, you know, not destroyed, but they are put in a submission hold. And he doesn't do anything to help them until later he comes up to the ring and he's like, oh, okay, you know, he just like runs there so that Bryan can let go of Andrade and that Brie can let go of Selena.
Keep in mind, the Miz is very smart and always has a plan. But Andrade, and we've seen it in the ring, he's always a step ahead of everybody and scouts his opponents very well. But what makes him more dangerous is that he's got Selena, and he's smart, and two brains think better than one. And we all know that with Selena on his side, he is very dangerous because Selena is the mastermind behind Andrade.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. This is why him and I think alike in so many different ways. That's perfect. I couldn't have said it any other way. There's like nothing else I can say because you just basically took the words out of my mouth. Selena is the mastermind behind Andrade. Look what she's done with him. Ever since she came to his aid, I mean, to be a part of this duel with him, look where she's brought Andrade. She took him to the NXT Championship. She brought him up to the main roster, and now they're feuding with the top star, or two of the top stars in SmackDown Live right now.
And it's very smart because at the beginning, who was Andrade feuding with? At the beginning when he first came up to the roster?
Sin Cara, right?
Well, Sin Cara, but what I'm trying to say is that he really wasn't facing
anybody big,
not all the top stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Selena was complaining that he needed to, you know, get better competition. And who knows, maybe the way this feud is his way to getting better competition and showing what he's really made out of.
Hey, if he can prove something with The Miz, he's already proven he belongs in the main event picture. Why? Miz is main event worthy. And if he can prove, and I'm not saying he has to take out The Miz. I'm just saying if he can prove that he can hang with The Miz, then he's immediately proven that he is main event worthy, that he is main event status.
Keep in mind, it's all planned from Andrade and Selena.
Exactly.
Don't be surprised if they outsmart The Miz.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised because honestly, Selena and Andrade, they're the perfect duel, and Miz is the brains in the Miz and Maryse relationship. Miz is a genius, and Maryse is just kind of there like, okay, yeah, I like it, and she's there to talk and she's there to guide him. She makes him who he is today, right? But the difference between that and Andrade and Selena is Andrade is smart, and so is Selena. And that is very, very, very dangerous. All right, moving on. Let's get into Becky and Charlotte. Okay, they have an interview in separate locations, obviously, because Paige didn't want them, to, I guess, jeopardize the main event of Hell in a Cell, or the main event for the woman, if you want to put it that way. They just trash talk each other. One says that they're going to come out champion. The other one says they're going to retain. It's just an ongoing feud between the two of them.
Keep in mind that by having Charlotte in the championship picture, you're pretty much, how can I say this, burning the rest of the women in SmackDown. And not at this, it's crucial time right now because it's Women's Evolution pay-per-view that's going to come out pretty soon. And I feel that they should be giving other women more opportunity.
You have people like Naomi down there. You have Carmella, and I understand if you guys say Carmella, no, because she was just champion. Okay, but you have Becky, you have Peyton, you have Billie Kay, you have other women that can carry the SmackDown Women's division, you know, and I feel like they have given Charlotte the title just to give it to her. And I feel like it was one of those things, oh, you know, hey, she's going to make history by tying Trish Stratus. Let's just give her the championship so that she can tie Trish. What happens next? She's obviously going to end up beating Trish's title reign. I don't really think she's just going to stay at 7 forever.
It's eventually what the end. I already see what they're going to do. They're going to make her tie her father's 16-time World Heavyweight Championship. And at this rate, it looks like that's what they're going to do. She's going to probably reach that mark or even higher.
Exactly. And then at that point, it's going to take all the other women years to get to where Charlotte has gotten within the last 2 to 3 years. Because she got called up in 2015. We are now 3 years later. And she's already 7-time women's champion. And don't be surprised. Like, if she ends up losing the championship and whoever she ends up facing, she's most likely going to go for the championship at WrestleMania. That is pretty much a given. And what is she going to do? She's going to win it. So that's going to put her at 8. And you're right. Like, she is going to get the 16 title reigns. And then it's going to be like, it's going to take Sasha, Liv, and everybody else that's on that roster years to chop Charlotte. And they're not just going to give it to any other woman. It's going to have to be somebody that they really think is at Charlotte's level, I guess.
Yeah, that is basically correct. Again, following on this match, I really want to see this match. It should be one hell of a match.
I want to see it inside Hell in a Cell. I don't want to see like a singles match stipulation. No. I want to see it inside Hell in a Cell. The woman will tear down the house. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and those are the matches we want. Exciting. Hell in a Cell match would totally bring them to the next level.
Alright, let's go into, again, more of the women. Naomi versus Peyton Royce. This is the second time we see this match. Again, Naomi, super athletic, has a lot of talent, a lot of potential. I feel like she's done a really good job in putting over the Iconics since they came up. I think this is the first time they actually get put over. And Naomi has done a fantastic job doing that. And again, the numbers game.
Yeah, numbers game is always going to play a huge factor. We know that it's going to happen with the Iconics. You always got to watch your back with, though.
But something really surprising happened. You know, the Iconics team up and they start beating up Naomi, and then Asuka comes out. She comes out and takes out the Iconics. She comes out to help out Naomi.
Yeah, and we all know why, because they were a huge part of Asuka losing her. I believe it was her first match in SmackDown.
I don't
remember.
remember.
For the title.
No, I don't remember, but we do know they end up helping Carmella some way.
I remembered. It was Carmella was already champion and she had to face Asuka for the championship.
Yeah.
And the Iconics came out and helped her out by beating up Asuka.
Yeah, so see, Asuka does have a reason to come out and help Naomi. Now, the thing is this. Where does Asuka go from there? Like, yeah, they're going to feud maybe for, like, the next couple of weeks. But then I don't see anything going up for Asuka until a couple of months from now.
I think it's a fresh start for Asuka. She's going to have to work her way again from the bottom to get to either Becky or Charlotte in the championship.
She's not undefeated anymore, so it is a fresh start. So we'll see where they...
This may be... Sorry for the interruption, but this may be the start of a new undefeated streak for Asuka.
I don't know, but we'll see where they decide to go with that. Let's get into another one of the good feuds that SmackDown has, Samoa Joe. He comes out and he's like, "Oh, Wendy," you know, and everybody's like, "Okay, well, AJ Styles isn't there because he's at home protecting his family." And guess what? Nope, He wasn't in Atlanta, Georgia. He was there in the building, and he takes out Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Now AJ with the reverse psychology, playing the head games with Samoa Joe. Again, I'm very excited for this match. For me, this is probably going to be the best match in Hell in a Cell.
And they go at it inside the ring, and so it gets to the point where Paige has to come out and tell AJ to go to the back. He has to tell him, hey, go to the back, do it for your family, do it for your daughter. You made a promise. This isn't you. Go back. And that's what they end up doing. There isn't much to say about it until we get like an official match. But let's get into R-Truth. And I had to add this on there. It doesn't come till the end, but he main events, right? And so R-Truth asked Carmella to accompany him to the ring, and she's like, no. At first she refuses, but then he tells her that Maurice had said that she was Staten Island trash, and then that pisses off Carmella, and so she decides, okay, fine, I'll go with you. And then Ty Dillinger's like, dude, what are you doing? And then he's like, I'm showing you something. And then Dillinger is like, what could you possibly be showing me? And then he's like, how to get into the main event of SmackDown Live.
Which he did. He ended up doing.
Which he did. It's brilliant. R-Truth, oh my god, he is golden. That man needs the biggest push of the century.
One of the things I really want to see, I mean, now that we've seen him partnering up with Carmella in the mixed match challenge, I want to see R-Truth versus, yes, you guessed it, James Ellsworth.
Yeah, he was saying that Ellsworth is going to come back because he's going to be jealous of R-Truth, and so it's going to cause this entire feud. It's kind of like a love triangle type of thing. I don't know. It could happen. It looks like they're just going to be using Ellsworth for whenever they need him against Carmella, so we'll see where they decide to go. We'll get into the main event. We'll get into that when we get into the main event, but let's get into the Usos versus Sanity and Rusev Day. Whoever wins this match was going to advance to face The Bar to become the number one contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships.
One thing, good to see that every tag team is being used and given the opportunity. I mean, we saw a triple threat last week.
Saw a triple threat this year.
And this week for the number one contenders for the titles. So, I mean, that's kind of good. It elevates the brand. Again,
the Usos always deliver. They are at the top of the division, even though they're not, they're not the champions. They are at the top of the division, always. Sanity proving why they got called up. They had a brilliant match. They were super creative. It was excellent. And then again, Rusev Day, they showed why they deserved this opportunity. And
I mean, they've been, how could I say this? They've been the people have been wanting to see Rusev do more. I mean, since he's been since he was doing singles, I think the last title he held was the U.S. Ever since then, his career has gone up and down. I think what they did in English has helped him out. Rusev Day, I love what they did with that. It was pretty creative. They were trying to kind of imitate the New Day, kind of going towards that. This is, like I said, another tag team that's going to look solid. Don't be surprised if they end up winning the tag titles.
I mean, they did win. They earned their opportunity. They're one step closer to the tag championships now. All they got to do is take out the Bar. And if they take out the Bar, then they got their number one contendership match. And it's going to be very interesting. I feel like they do deserve the push. I feel like they would carry the tag team division in a very good way. I feel like anybody that holds the SmackDown tag team titles as of right now would be excellent and brilliant to carry the division. They all have it. They can all do it. But let's get into the main event. Our Trizzle made it to the main event, and he's main eventing against The Miz. This match was pretty good. I can't even lie. Again, Carmella was in R-Truth's corner, and Maurice was in Miz's corner. And there's no sign of Brie. There's no sign of Brian. And then they end up coming out, and they cost Miz his match. R-Truth got the pin. against The Miz. You know what this is going to do to his career? Do you know what this is going to do to R-Truth's career?
It's going to elevate.
Exactly. It is going to elevate it, and it is going to take it to a completely new level. I am interested to see what they're going to continue to do with the Carmella and R-Truth storyline. Again, it was probably just all for the Mixed Match Challenge, but we'll see where they decide to go with that. And then again, they get interrupted by Brian and Brie, and then Andrade and Selena come out to help out Miz and Maurice. And like I said, Brie and Brian took out Andrade and Selena, and Miz didn't do anything about it. And then he just like ran to the ring, and then like they let go. But that was basically all he did. Like, he didn't really help them, and that's what I'm saying. He might just be using them to defeat Brian.
And then going back to R-Truth, it sucks that someone that's so talented and has great mic skills like R-Truth is not getting a huge push like he really deserves.
You know, he should really be on another level now. He's been there for years. He knows what he's doing. His mic skills are on point. The guy can wrestle. This whole mismatch is really going to help him.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's all we have for you guys this week on Wrestling with Siblings.
One more thing. Both Raw and SmackDown were actually pretty good. Very interesting. Hopefully it stays that way where both brands, elevate their competition.
This is why the podcast was really long this week. We are at over an hour. We're sorry. Again, if you made it to this point, we love you guys. If you didn't, we still love you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Get the word out there that Wrestling with Siblings is on YouTube. Get people to subscribe to us if you guys like our podcast. And again, Armando, what does WWS stand for?
Wrestling with Siblings. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, leave your comments below. Let us know any feedback. We love you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week. I'm Araceli.
I'm Armando. Thank you guys.